Hey, what is up everyone? My name is Sagar and we are back here with another video. And this is the third lecture of our Java and DSA course. And in this particular video, we are going to talk about typecasting and taking user input in Java. So without wasting any more time, let's get started. So here in my IntelliJ IDE, I will right click on my package, here new, Java class, lecture third, and press enter. First I will generate my main method. We know that if you want to print something in the console, or you can say output window, you can write it as this, as out, and suppose I want to print 10. So I will run this program and you can see here 10 is printed. But let's say I want some different output. Suppose I want 20, so I will change it here and I will rerun my code. And as you can see, now 20 is printed. So we can see here, if we want some different output, we have to change things in our main program. And let's say I am taking some different example. I am writing a number equal to 10, number plus 2. Here plus is a arithmetic operator and we will be learning about operators in our upcoming video. So I will run this program and here you can see 12 is printed. But if I want some different output according to my need, I have to change it here in my program. Let us say I am writing here 20 and now 22 will be there, as you can see. Okay, this was a short example. Here we have only 2 lines of code, but suppose if you have hundreds line of code, then you have to make changes in so many places, and that is not an efficient thing. So if we want our program to run according to our needs, then we will enter our custom inputs. Here you can see I have to change this number every time I want some different output. But this problem can be resolved when we have our user input. We are the end user, and after we input some data, then our program will perform according to that. So in Java, we have basically 2 ways to take user input. First one is scanner and the second one is buffer reader. I will write here scanner sc equals to new scanner system.in. As you can see here, we are importing scanner class from our util package. Don't worry, we will be learning about classes in our object oriented programming. And there is this Java syntax. So in previous video, we learned about data types and we write them as int a equals to some value. Here int is our data type and a is our variable name and then some value. And the same thing is going on here. This is a scanner class and this is the scanner class object which have a name sc. And here we are using constructor to create a new object. So first of all, here is new, that means a new object is to be created, and then scanner, that means it is a scanner object. And as you can see, there are these parentheses. In our very first video, I told you that these parentheses are used in methods or functions, but this is not a method, it is a constructor. For now you can just think it is used to create objects, but we will be learning about this in our object oriented programming. Here you can see there is an error and that is saying cannot resolve constructor scanner. This is because these parentheses are empty and we have to write here system.in. As you can see, so here I am saying that it is a scanner object. As in previous video we saw that first we have to declare our data type, then our variable name. Same thing I am doing here. You can see sc and then equals to, and then here new means our new object is to be created, and then here constructor of scanner class, and then there is this system.in, that means we have to take input from our system. So let us say if I want some integer input, I will write it as int our data type and then our variable name sc dot next int. As you can see here, press enter. Here you can see sc is the name of our scanner class object, and then there is a method called as next int that is used to take integer inputs. And after that I will just print out this input. I will say num plus 2, and after I run this code, Here you can see there is nothing in our console, or we can say our output window, because our program is paused, or we can say it is waiting for our input. And here I can input any value like 20. As you can see, it is green here, that means it is our input value, and there is output, that is 22, because I am adding here 2. So suppose I want some different output, so I will input another value, let us say 100, and here you can see 102. So basically this is how scanner works. And suppose if you want some different input, then you have to do the same. Here byte b equal to sc dot next byte, and then our byte input will be stored in this b variable. Same for our short s equal to sc dot next short, as you can see here, and long and same for our double values, and then float, and we can also take input for our strings. As you can see, string str equal to sc dot next. And when we run our program, and now here we can enter some string values. Strings are basically some words, sentences, or anything, but this is a non-primitive data type in Java, so we will be learning about this later. And I will write here Java and then press enter, and here you can see our string input was Java. In our program, as you can see, I am writing this statement in double quotes, that means it is also a string, and then this str, and we are taking it from input. So after this we have our buffer reader. First I will comment out these two lines. You can also use the shortcut control and slash. Comments are basically some lines that you can keep in your program, and your compiler will totally ignore them. You can use it to test your program in different cases and also for documentations. And now we will move to our buffer reader. All the syntax is totally same. We have to just write buffer reader. Here you can also see in suggestions br and new buffer reader, and that is it. Here that means it is a buffer reader object, and then this br is our object name, here new, and then here new, that means our new object is to be created, and then this buffer reader constructor. But it is also showing some error. Let us check this. Cannot resolve constructor. So there are also some parameters in this constructor that we have to put inside these parentheses, and that is input stream reader object, new input stream reader and system.in, as you can see here. Okay, now this thing is looking messy, so I will just create a different object. As you can see here, but it is still something different and maybe hard to understand. Let me give it a try. So there is this input stream reader class, and then its object name, and then we are creating a new object using its constructor, same as in scanner class, and then we are creating a new buffer reader object using this input stream reader. Don't worry if you are still confused, we will be only using scanner class in our upcoming videos. I am just giving you a brief of this buffer reader so that you won't feel like कि हमने तो ऐसा कुछ पढ़ा ही नहीं. So if you want to take input using buffer reader object, then we will do the same. Int I equals to, here our method to take input is dot read, and I will just print out our input value I plus 1. So I will run my code. Here I will enter 1 as my input value and press enter. But wait, what was that? I am giving a input 1 and after adding 1 it is returning me 20. That doesn't make any sense. Now this is because buffer reader object only takes string inputs. And here it is considering this 1 as a character value and 1 have a ASCII code of 49 and after adding 1 to 49 it is returning us 50 as an integer value. So this read method of buffered reader takes only one character at a time as input and return it as an integer. So when I am passing here 1, it is taking it as a character value and 1 have a ASCII value of 49. So when I am adding 1 to my input value, 49 plus 1 equals to 50 and it is my output. So how can I take an integer input and not a string or character? And here typecasting is on the rescue. First I will use readline method of buffer reader that will take string as input and as you can see there is an error because this is taking string as input and I is made to store integer values. Here you can see migrate I to string. But here in Java we can use some cool things to change this string value into integer value. Here integer dot parse int. So here you can see this readline method is returning a string and I am using this integer class to change my string into an int and I will take 1 as my input value and press enter and here you can see 2 is my output. You can do same thing with another data types like double dot parse double and I will store it in a double data type. Here 1.234 and my output is this. So now let's talk about typecasting in detail. So what is typecasting? Typecasting means changing one particular type of data value to another. For example, suppose if I have some integer value, I can write it as int num equals to 1. Then I can typecast it into some double or float value. So I will write here double num. And after I print both of them, okay, here you can see num is integer and it is here 1, but I am typecasting it here as double db equals to num. Then our db variable will have value of num but in double format, as you can see here 1.0. So this is something called as typecasting. In Java, typecasting is of two types. The first one is widening casting, upcasting, or we can say automatic casting. As we can see here, this num is a type of int and it is converted into db of type double. And it is automatic. I haven't did anything. So this is upcasting or widening casting. That means I can cast small type size to larger ones, as you can see here. Let us go to the beautiful diagram from our previous video. So as you can see here, short have a larger type size than byte. So byte data type value can be automatically typecasted into short value. And you can also see here int is larger than short. So both byte and short value can be automatically typecasted into int value. And after that you can see long have more larger value. So byte, short and int, all values from these three data type can be automatically typecasted into long. So when I write it as byte b equals to 2, I can write it as short s equals to b. That means here byte value is typecasted into short, and this is called as widening or upcasting. And I can also write it as int I equals to s and long l equals to I. There is no error. So now let's talk about another type of typecasting, and that is called narrowing casting, downcasting or manual casting. In upcasting we were going like this. We can convert byte value into short and then short into int and then long, and long value can also be converted into float and float can be converted into double. But here in downcasting things are just reversed. You can convert double value into float and then float to long, long to int to short and short to byte. So we have some integer value int I equals to 20 and we have to change it to short. So I am writing it as short s equal to I. but this is not the right way. You can see here it is showing me an error that cast I to short. So if I want to downcast integer value to short value, I have to write it as this. Now that means this I value, which was previously integer, will now be considered as short value. So I can now print out both. And you can see here I is 20 and short is also 20. Let us see some another example. Okay, suppose I have some double value that is 2.345 and I want to typecast into some integer value. So I will write it as int I equals to db, but it will give me an error, so I have to write it as this. I have to write int in parentheses. So in primitive data types, when I want to downcast something, I have to write it as this. First our parentheses and inside them our type I want to downcast to, and then this. So when I am printing out both of them, you can see here as you can see here, this is 2.345, that means a double value, and after that this double value is downcasted into integer value, as you can see here 2. So 2 is an integer and this is a double value. And after that, when I want to upcast this integer value, I will write it as this. So here 2.345 is my double value and is initial value, and I downcast it into integer value. You can see here the numbers after decimal will be removed and only 2 will remain. And after that I am upcasting this 2. That means this 2 will be converted into 2.0. So now it is time for our practice problem. So today we have two things to do. First, using scanner, you can see here our first step is we have to take two float inputs. Okay, we will do this, and second step is add them, and we can do this by using this plus operator, and the last step is to downcast it into short. Okay, we will do this and then print it out. So the second task is using buffer reader. You can use this. I will just share this source code with you. So our first step is to take two integer inputs using integer.parseInt. Okay, we learned that using buffer reader we can only take string inputs, and using this method integer.parseInt we can convert this string into integer value. And the second step is add them. We can do this by this plus operator, as there will be integer values, and the third step is to downcast them into byte and then print out the result. Now that seems easy, so go and share your answer in the comment section, and the first one to comment the answer will get a shout out in the upcoming video. So that is it for today everyone. Hope you like this video, subscribe to our channel and share your views in comment section, and I will see you in the next one.